some formalities here. So before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land which we meet today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We also pay our respect to their elders, past, present and emerging, and that respect extended to all the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are present here today. We are so grateful to live, work and gather on this beautiful land. Now, 25 years. If someone has told me that 25 years ago that I'd be standing in front of a crowd of Bharatha art lovers and talking about a dance school, I probably would have laughed it off and said, no chance. But here we are today, and I couldn't be any prouder. On behalf of Bharatha Dance School, or we all lovingly call it as BKDS, I sincerely welcome each and every one of you to this special celebration of a Silver Jubilee 25th year and staging of Ahimsa, our latest dance drama. 25 years, what a journey it has been. BKDS was not just built on Bharatanatyam choreography and the rhythms, but on conversations, some brainstorming sessions, and a lot of heart. In fact, this journey began with a conversation with Radhika. Oh, one more thing, I'm Suresh Mahadeva, so you guys can work it out. I'm related to Radhika. A little bit of nepotism that I'm standing here too. Many years ago, I know she was very passionate about the art form, and I mean truly passionate. She wasn't that big and warrior kind. She built her knowledge the hard way through grit, a lot of effort, and an unwavering drive to use this art form as a way of social commentary and reform. Now I must confess, I would often say, Radhika, I love what you do, but someone like me to understand what this really means, you've got to tell stories. Tell stories that resonate with common people. And that was the beginning of something very special and something very magical. And it gave birth to a vision to use the classical dance form, not only to preserve culture, but to make some bold statements about our society. The school has produced many dance dramas, but they were all related to social issues and subjects that really matters to humankind. Ashokavanam, one of our very first, highlighted the crisis of global warming. Now that connection between Ramayana and global warming. There are tapes and I think there are YouTube videos on that. So if you got some spare time, spend on it, it'll be well worth it. Then he gave Gamanam, a voice for the people who struggle, people who are refugees and bored people. Then came Annapurna. Annapurna was about the silent trap, the gaming and addiction of gaming that was causing harm to humanity. Then came Samatvam, which spoke about equality across the gender, caste and creed. Alayam reminded us that bodies are a temple and to be honoured and not neglected. And tonight, Ahimsa, our most personal, powerful and the pressing message yet, say no to abuse. Domestic violence is not just a statistic, it's a tragedy affecting families, communities, the current generations and the generations to come. And what makes Ahimsa even more special is that it was born, not in any boardroom, but in our dance classes. While our children were exploring the soul of Bharatanatyam, they began to discuss the real issues around them. They asked questions, they shared their thoughts, and they created this. This is their voice and this is their stand. This day is just not about a celebration of Bharatha 25 years, but it's also about giving back to the community. All profit from this show will be donated to Care Australia, the organisation doing incredible work supporting women and children affected by domestic violence and poverty. So as you sit back, experience Ahimsa, just remember, this is more than just a performance. This is a conversation, a statement, a movement. Thank you for being part of our story. Some of you have been with us for more than 25 years, and for standing with us as we use tradition to transform and the art as an instrument to awaken. Enjoy the show and spread Ahimsa. I've also been tasked with saying a few words on the housekeeping stuff, so please take a moment to locate where the exits are. The bathrooms are located outside in the foyer area, and we also kindly ask you to put your phones on silent and to avoid any flash photography. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing first? Can I hear some voice? Thank you. As Suresh Mahadeva mentioned, BKDS has never been behind in making those bold statements and making an impact to the community. And on that note, I was privileged to have this great opportunity of scripting this conversation of Ahimsa in few lyrical forms so that we could have that conversation in our homes and make sure we can nip it off in the bud when this kind of events occurs. So domestic violence takes many forms, as you all know. Generally, they could be spiritual in nature or physical, neglect and financial, emotional and sexual. All these different types of violences are caused because one person exerts the power into another person who is more vulnerable, and as a result, that person suffers basically the consequences of it. So through this lens, what we have done is revisited the epical stories that we have grown up with, the mythological stories that we have been part in our childhood, and tried to pick what they actually says as we shouldn't be doing from our perspective. So therefore, that conversation, as I mentioned, you guys all start from the beginning and eliminate that at its inception to say boldly, no excuse for abuse. Are we ready to do that? Absolutely. So let's begin our performance with the spiritual violence. What does spiritual violence mean? It's someone's belief or faith is being manipulated by another person or a group of persons applying a force to this vulnerable person not to have their own dignity and own way of following their faith. And this causes an impact and consequences which creates psychological impact and trauma. So let's begin our conversation with spiritual violence.
begins with Mirabai. She was a remarkable saint, yet, because of her unwavering devotion to Lord Krishna and her status as a woman, society subjected her to intense discrimination, ridiculing her, deeming her insane, and even resorting to violence to suppress her spiritual expression.
Yes, it's truly tragic. Even her husband, the Rana of Mivar, could not tolerate her devotion. His jealousy and insecurity led him to attempt to break her spirit. He tried to force her to abandon her faith, even going as far as poisoning her and subjecting her to cruel treatment, all in an effort to suppress her love for Krishna.
And despite these immense hardships, Mirabai remained steadfast in her devotion. Her resilience in the face of such spiritual and familial violence demonstrates how genuine devotion cannot be silenced, regardless of societal or familial oppression.
காதல் கொண்டாய் தீரா பக்தி கொண்டாய்
Krishna, you are my wife. All this dancing and singing is not allowed. Don't you remember you're the queen? You are embarrassing my kingdom.
Meera, what are you doing, Meera? We pray to Devi, not to Krishna. You're singing and dancing. Everyone's laughing at us. Gee, stop this, Meera.
Devi, but I pray to Krishna. He is my world. All this dancing and singing is all for him. Krishna, my Krishna, my Krishna is everything for me.
Kundavadam secretly, Marching to fade away. Kundavadam secretly, Marching to fade away. Aadayadi fade away. Aadavadam fade away. Aadayadi fade away. Aadavadam fade
Devotion does not conform to traditions. Is it considered defiance? When faith is followed beyond the boundaries set by society, does it invite punishment? History has seen many who chose the path of truth only to be faced by rejection, scorn, and exile. When culture is used to control, to confine, to break the will, is it truly considered tradition or oppression disguised as honor?
That was the conversation about spiritual violence. Let's move on to a physical violence. What does that mean? Someone exercising their force and power on someone else who is vulnerable to injure or cause pain. And these injuries can be long-lasting and very much hurtful. So let's revisit a story that resembles the physical violence as our next conversation.
Prahalada was a steadfast devotee of Lord Vishnu, but his father, King Hiranyakashipu, despised his faith. Instead of embracing his son's devotion, he subjected Prahalada to intense verbal and physical violence, hoping to force him to abandon his beliefs.
Indeed, Hiranyakashipu mocked Prahalad constantly. His ego could not accept that there was any greater power than himself. The king didn't stop at words. He subjected Prahalad to horrific physical punishment, throwing him into blazing fire, attempting to poison him, and even ordering elephants to trample on him.
Despite all the abuse, Prahalada's faith was unshaken. His story is a powerful example of standing up to violence with sheer determination, faith, and the belief in a greater truth. But this is not just his story. It is the story of countless voices unheard.
Wasn't that a powerful conversation about what physical violence means? Absolutely, that was a fantastic performance by the girls over there. Let's move on to our next bold conversation about neglect and financial abuse. So neglect and financial violences occur when basic financial needs are controlled or taken away by someone else. As a result, the vulnerable person suffers an abuse and face the consequences. Sometimes it also puts them in a situation where they are being vulnerable to more exploitation. Let's see how this conversation goes.
Have you heard the story of Nalan and Damayanti? It tells the tragic tale of King Nalan, who, after losing his kingdom due to his obsession with gambling, deserts his wife and children.
Nalan, caught in his own struggles, couldn't see how his actions were affecting Damayanti. He neglected her emotionally and physically, leaving her behind in a foreign land with no protection or support. His neglect and inability to protect her in her time of need were almost as painful as the circumstances she faced.
It is a powerful reminder of how neglect, whether physical or emotional, can be as damaging as any other form of harm, leaving deep scars on the individuals involved.
Serving Mother Teresa, Imam Al-Hidayah.
Neglect is a wound unseen, yet it cuts the deepest. A woman's strength is not tested just by hardship, but by the silence of the one who once vowed to protect her. When love turns away in despair, is it fate or a choice?
That was Damayanti facing the consequence of a neglect from Nalan. Let's move on to the next abuse, which is emotional abuse. This basically takes away your self-feeling or someone trying to control and manipulate your emotions through their inputs, and the powerlessness remains, which cause an impact to the vulnerable person in their psychological thought. This may not be evidenced through an injury or a physical evidence, but those psychological impact can be long lasting. Let's have that conversation now.
Many know the legend of Ramayana, but a few heed attention to the devastation of King Dasharatha when his wife Kaikeyi manipulated him into exiling his son and heir to the throne, Prince Rama, to the forest for 14 years.
Kaikeyi didn't need physical force to manipulate King Dasharatha. She wielded her words to control him, exploiting his love for her to get what she wanted. Through emotional blackmail, she twisted his emotions until he couldn't refuse her demands.
The weight of his decision ultimately killed King Dasharatha. The weight of words can be as damaging as physical harm.
I hail from the dynasty, the solar dynasty, where the sun shines. What kings have come from that dynasty? Like Bharatha, who brought River Ganga down to earth through his penance. What kings have built his Kosala kingdom? Now, Kayegi has come and turned everything upside down in no time. Is it not tradition for the eldest son to ascend the throne? How wrong to ask the youngest to become the king? Where is the compassion that all women have? Kayegi, are you devoid of a heart? God, please save me.
Wow, that was a manipulation of Kaihe, which brought us the emotional violence. Let's move on to the sexual violence. What does that mean? If someone is forced without their consent to do some sexual favors or do an act without their willingness. This could be of many forms, such as rape, or unwanted touching, or many other ways of forcing someone for sexual favors. This could not just have physical impact, but a psychological trauma. And that's what we are going to witness next in our conversation for Ahimsa. Hope this makes a mark in your minds too.
The story of Draupadi is one of the most harrowing examples of how sexual violence can be used to degrade someone. After the Pandavas lost the game of dice, their cousins, the Kauravas, subjected their wife Draupadi to unimaginable violence in the court, including sexual assault by way of derobing her, designed to humiliate in front of everyone.
Draupadi, a woman of great strength, was publicly humiliated by the Kauravas, her dignity ripped away before the entire court. They mocked her, stripped her of her honor, calling her a prize to be claimed, and laughed at her pain. Her pleas for justice fell on deaf ears.
What makes it even more gut-wrenching is that justice remained silent. The very men in the court who were supposed to defend righteousness stood by and did nothing. They sat there, complicit in their silence, as Draupadi's cries for help were ignored. Justice didn't just fail her, it was absent, letting power and cruelty override what was right. In that moment, the system meant to uphold righteousness and protect the helpless chose to remain silent.
பன்னினத்தை வஞ்சப்படுத்தும் பாவி உச்சாரணை பேரவையில் கேட்பாரில்லையா? பேரவையில் கேட்பாரில்லையா? எண்ணற்ற பெரியோர்கள் இச்சபையிலிருந்தும்
It's a message to take action against the sexual violence.
Wow, what a performance. I think another round of applause for all the performers. That was an absolutely phenomenal achievement by everyone involved, from all the musicians, from all the technicians, the lyricists, all the class reps, the parents who have been involved from the beginning, and obviously all the students as well. What a great performance. That's very, very good. We are also very proud to share that everything from the orchestra, the lyrics, the music composition are all done by local artists. Everyone here has been involved. There's been no one from other places. And also, like Suresh Anna had mentioned before, all the profits from this event go to Care Australia so that they can continue with the great work that they do. I firstly want to thank all our sponsors, without whose support we wouldn't be able to bring these kind of performances to all you audiences at all. So thank you all the sponsors. I will also like to pay my sincere respects and gratitude to all the very distinguished musicians here with us today. Shri Jarikantan Sharma for vocal and music composition. Srimati Davina Vendan for vocal. Shri Sai Nivedan Ravichandra for mridangam. Shri Akshay Manivandan for violin. Shri Kanus Mukantas for keyboard. These are the back. And Shri Satya Niranjan for the script and direction and the beautiful mention he spoke in the beginning of each of the performances. Thank you. It was great. I think that gave us a good insight into what's being done. So that's fantastic. Thanks to all the back of house technicians. Thank you so much for all the hard work to make this event go very smoothly. Thank you, Ambi. Thank you, Ambi Anna, for stage management. Thank you, Charles, Pradeep, for managing light and sound. Thank you, Brindan and Bharatha. They have been instrumental in bringing everything together as well. For projection and lighting, they have been helping Pradeep. All the usherers for today, there are lots of them out there, so thank you. And thanks for the boys to also get all the white t-shirt, the black t-shirts for everyone. Thank you. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the Alexander Theatre staff from Sarah, Karen, Tristan, and then for all the stage rehearsal days and today as well, Simon and Sylvia and their whole team. Thank you. Thank you for accommodating all our requests. I'll also thank Pradeep Kumar, who is helping us with photography. He was only contacted on Thursday and he is here, so absolutely great. Thanks a lot. And to Dheeraj Deshmukh, who's helping us with videography today. He's a parent volunteer as well, so thank you. Thank you, Richard. We went and bought a new camera for this, so thank you. All the volunteers who've been doing the various tasks that are required to deliver, I'd like to thank everyone else, all the other volunteers who've been helping us throughout the process, all the parents, and most importantly, the audience, for your presence and for supporting all the performers. Thank you. Most importantly, also, to the person who drives all of this and brings them all together, and all of them gather around her as they have a lot of respect and love for this one person, Radhikaka. So thank you, Radha, for showering so much love on everyone and imparting knowledge to the next generation. Thanks for giving us all an opportunity to be part of this event and to take a strong stand against this evil, that is domestic violence. So the message for today, thank you. So the message for today, as Rosie Batty, one of the big campaigners for domestic violence in Australia, she said, domestic violence can happen to anyone, anybody. No matter how nice the house is, how intelligent the people are, it can happen to anyone. It is important that we stand against any kind of abuse, spiritual abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, any kind of abuse. We need to be the Krishna to Draupadi or the Narasimha for Prahlad. There is absolutely no excuse for abuse. Thank you.
is by Satya. The music is by Anand. And I know most of you know I turned 50 last year, and you know, most of you who turned 50, you know the psychology of the age. But this girl is the one who brought me this challenge. And here we are. Please say no to abuse. Ahimsa, Ahimsa, Ahimsa. And thank you to all my lovely parents, all the friends, everyone, every single child, are just sitting and crying. So no point being emotional. And one secret that I want to share with you, everything other than the lyric which was composed back in 8th of December, which I didn't check till January 15th or something. This was all started 2nd of March, don't think 2024, 2025. So the whole thing was 4 weeks, less than 4 weeks. So the entire credit goes to all these people at home, here, everywhere. And sincerely, I take 1% of the credit, but it's all my volunteers, all these well wishers. Thank you so much. Stay safe.